The Appalachian Vale, an examination of supernatural phenomena in America's oldest mountains. The Appalachian Mountains are among the oldest mountain ranges in the world, their worn peaks and deep hollows shaped by nearly 480 million years of wind, water, and time. Stretching from Alabama to Newfoundland, the range covers an expanse rich in biodiversity, layered human history, and, according to both folklore and countless eyewitness accounts, a density of supernatural events unmatched in much of North America. To those who live along its ridges and valleys, the Appalachians are not just a place on the map. They are a place apart, a liminal space where the line between the living and the dead, the natural and the unexplainable, is thinner than most care to admit. Several factors make this region a crucible for eerie occurrences. The geology itself is ancient and complex. Caves, deep mines, and labyrinthine hollers act as both physical and symbolic gateways. The culture, too, is layered. Indigenous nations such as the Cherokee and Shawnee left behind not only traces of habitation, but legends and spiritual beliefs tied to the land. Later, Scots-Irish settlers brought with them old-world ghost lore, blending it with local myths into a uniquely Appalachian body of superstition. Combine that with generations of isolation, limited outside contact, and the enduring oral tradition, and you have a perfect ecosystem for the preservation and perhaps the creation of supernatural tales. Reports from the region fall into several distinct categories. Apparitions and ghost lights. Phantom figures are perhaps the most common supernatural report in Appalachia. From spectral coal miners wandering abandoned shafts in West Virginia to Civil War soldiers marching eternally through the fog of Virginia's Shenandoah Valley, these sightings persist. Just as notable are the so-called ghost lights, floating orbs seen in remote valleys, particularly the Brown Mountain Lights of North Carolina. These glowing anomalies, documented since the 19th century, defy clear scientific explanation, though theories range from natural gas emissions to piezoelectric effects from quartz-bearing rocks. Cryptids and unidentified creatures. The Appalachian Range is home to a host of cryptid sightings. The Mothmen of Point Pleasant, West Virginia, gained national attention in the 1960s after multiple reports described a winged humanoid with glowing red eyes. The Flatwoods Monster, a bizarre, spade-shaped entity reportedly encountered in Braxton County, WV in 1952, remains another enduring mystery. Beyond these famous cases, locals speak of Goatman-type creatures, unnervingly pale humanoids known as the White Things, massive panther-like cats in areas they should not exist, and even tales of reptilian beings emerging from cave systems. Witches, curses, and folk magic. Appalachian folk magic, often called granny magic or conjure, has deep roots in both European and African traditions. Alongside benevolent charms for healing and protection are darker tales of curses laid upon families, farms, or entire valleys. The Bell Witch legend, while originating in Tennessee's lowlands, has parallels in the mountains: poltergeist-like disturbances, disembodied voices, and objects moving without cause. The isolation of many communities has allowed these beliefs to persist far into the modern age. Time slips and disappearances. There are persistent stories of hikers, hunters, and even entire search parties vanishing without a trace. While some can be attributed to terrain hazards or wildlife, others carry a stranger tone. Witnesses describe losing time, feeling suddenly disoriented, or seeing the landscape subtly shift around them. This phenomenon has been likened to time slips, where individuals believe they have stepped briefly into another era. Haunted structures and abandoned towns. Coal country is dotted with ghost towns, mining communities abandoned after economic collapse or disaster. Many of these are rumored to be haunted, their empty company stores and collapsing houses said to echo with footsteps and whispered voices. The Whipple Company store in Scarborough, WV for example, is famous for reported paranormal activity during both day and night. Audible phenomena. In addition to visual sightings, the Appalachians are rife with accounts of unexplained sounds. These include phantom hoofbeats in remote hollers, metallic scraping deep underground, and the mournful wail of what locals call the Banshee of the Blue Ridge. On still nights, these sounds can carry for miles, unnerving even lifelong residents. Why do these phenomena seem concentrated here? Part of the answer lies in cultural continuity. Appalachian communities often remain rooted in the same valleys for generations, passing down both stories and the interpretive framework to understand unusual events. The remoteness of the land means experiences are less likely to be diluted by outside skepticism and more likely to be framed within local belief systems. Additionally, the natural environment, dense forests, shifting mists, deep caves, creates conditions where perception can be challenged, leaving room for the uncanny to take root. In the end, whether one accepts these reports as literal truth, psychological projection, or a mixture of both, the Appalachian Mountains remain a place where the supernatural is not merely a campfire topic, it is part of the cultural fabric. Here, a strange noise in the woods is never just a noise, and a shadow on the ridge may carry with it the weight of centuries. As the old-timers say, there are places in these hills where the veil is mighty thin, and in such places the past is never truly past, and the night is never entirely empty. I am Mr. Disturbing Storyteller, and I'll see you in the next storytelling videos.